So what we have here is a really cool sedge. This is Carex lacustris. Carex lacustris, also known as the lake sedge. Carex lacustris is in the section Paludosae, and oftentimes things in those section have hairy perigynia, and we'll take a look at what that is and what that means. Carex lacustris and Carex hyalinolepis do not have hairy perigynia, and if you want to know a little more about the Paludosae section, check out the video that we did previously on Carex hyalinolepis, a really similar species as this. All right, so on Carex lacustris, we often have 3 to 5 staminate spikes. See these, there's usually 3 to 4 pistillate spikes, these long spikes here, and then you move up this stem, there's pistillate spikes, and then you have these staminate spikes. The whole flower structure is just, for this, it's just the scale and then the male flowers, and then down here we have the scale and the female flowers. But again, in sedges, we have the specialized sac that covers the female flower, and you can see the stigma sticking out, and that's called a perigynium or perigynia. And on this, the perigynium, we'll take a closer look here in a second actually. Let's talk about these spikes first so I don't get off track. So these pistillate spikes, so these are all girl flowers. Once in a while you'll see, as we see on the top of this one, you'll see there's some staminate flowers, so some boy flowers on the top. And we call that androgynous. We call that androgynous when there's male flowers on the top of the spike and female flowers below. If it's the other way around, as some species are, then we call it gynochondrious. Gynochondrious. Getting a better look at that staminate spike, or the staminate tip. There's some staminate flowers here on this pistillate spike. So staminate is the boys, the stamens, and then the pistillate spikes are the girls. Let's take some of these perigynia off and take a look at them. As we previously noted, the perigynia are going to be hairless. They're going to be kind of this lime green color, light green color, and they're going to be pretty well, the veins are going to be pretty obvious on them. Unlike hyalinolepis, the veins are going to be less apparent, more weak, sometimes almost veinless looking. Each one of these has they're about, I don't know, 4 to right under 8 millimeters long usually, and then they taper to this little this little beak with these 2 little teeth. So one way that this is different, the Paludosae section is different than the Carex section, and in Carex section you have things like Carex trichocarpa, Carex, atheroides. One way that this section Paludosae is different is, see the teeth, see the 2 little teeth up there? They're going to be way under 1 millimeter. They're going to be under 1 millimeter usually. And oftentimes in Carex section Carex, they're going to be over 1. I mean, they could be under 1 millimeter, but usually they're like 1 to 3 millimeters. One thing to note is that this leaf-like bract right here often overtops the whole inflorescence. It often overtops, as you can see, the inflorescence here. It overtops the inflorescence. As we see here, Carex lacustris is clonal. It's clonal. So it has these underground stems, rhizomes, and it'll shoot up individuals. And so you can see here, oftentimes you don't see flowers because it doesn't need to. This is a very sexually active population. As you can see, all these flowers throughout back there. You can see this basal sheath is a reddish color, and it's going to have these fimbrious, these ladder-like fibers at the base. And if you look at this, you can see that the leaves, see these lower leaves, how short they are? So on something like hyalinolepis, there's going to be last year's dead leaves oftentimes, and these leaves are going to be much longer, going all the way up the almost as tall as, sometimes as tall as these lower leaves here on the culm. The culm is 3-angled. You pull back the leaf and look at this ligule here. You can see it's this long V. It's this long V. And on something like Carex hyalinolepis, it's going to be a dome. It's just going to be like a dome. It's not going to be this long V. So that's another way vegetatively you can tell these two apart. So the habitat of Carex lacustris is swamp edges, oftentimes a little bit shaded, lake edges. It's called the lake sedge. See it on the edge of bogs in the moats. You know, it likes its feet wet. It's distributed in the northern half, eastern half of the United States, getting as far south as southern Illinois and Indiana, and kind of falls out after that. So in short, this is Carex lacustris. Carex lacustris.